Hello, students in Summer 4, Psychology of Gender online for summer 2024. I'm Dr. Taryn Myers. I'm your instructor, and I am going to use this video to do a quick walkthrough of your course and how to find things. So I'm just going to go ahead and share screen right now, and you should be able to follow along as we go. So when you sign into Blackboard and you click on our page, this should be what you see. I'm in the student preview mode. And as you can see, there's information about me here. So if you click on that, it should give you a little bit of information there. You can message me. You can view everyone in your course by looking at the roster here. So if you want to contact other people in the class, you can do so. This will have some progress tracking for you throughout the course. You can look at your course descriptions. You can look at your attendance. That doesn't really apply to an online course. And then your course and institutional tools here. This first week, as you sign off, you are going to go to this welcome and syllabus. And I know about half of you are online classes already, so you know this, but for the folks who typically take day classes, this class is completely asynchronous. So what that means is each week you're going to work through a module on your own time. So we're never going to meet as a class on Zoom or in person. Everything's going to be you working through the material in your own time. So you'll see the course introduction here. I've got some information about the course and how I conceptualized it. And I'm going to tell this joke just because this is such a good way to describe the experience of taking this class, particularly if you've never taken any kind of gender or diversity related class before. So two young fish were swimming along and they came across an older fish, and the older fish asked, "Hey there, how's the water?" And once the fish swam away, one of the younger fish turned to the other one and said, "What the heck is water?" And so we are so immersed in stereotypes, ideas that are just not scientifically based about gender and about other types of diversity, that it's going to be hard for some of us to pull ourselves out of that and realize, like, this is the water that we're swimming in. Look at the psychological science that you'll read throughout the semester, and get ready to have some common beliefs dismissed. All my contact info is here. So this link right here goes to a tool called Calendly, and that will allow you to schedule a meeting with me one-on-one. My email is here as well. That's the best way to reach me rather than messaging through Blackboard. I'm just much more likely to see it much more quickly. Also, I have my link on the VW website and my lab webpage here if you want to learn more about me. There's also some information about the course description and the learning outcomes as well here. So again, nice way to start to get to know things. When I'm finished with this video and it's uploaded, that will also be linked under course information. So as you can see, we have progress tracking going on right here. This will allow you to look at the syllabus. It'll open in a new tab. It is a Google Doc just in case something comes up and I need to change stuff throughout the semester. So, make sure you're aware of some of the assignments I'm having you do that might be a little different to other courses that you've taken, even online. So for example, one of the things you're going to do this week is a brief introductory video. The easiest way to do these, honestly, in this day and age is just to use your cell phone, or if you have Zoom, this is what I'm doing right now. You can open up a Zoom meeting and record yourself. And then what I found is that Blackboard is not good at processing videos. So it's often best to put your video on Google Drive or YouTube and then put the link where you turn in the assignment. So for the video, you're gonna give me your preferred name. So, if your thing says Sam Smith, but you prefer to be called Dan, let me know that. Your pronouns, so like my example down here, my name is Dr. Sharon Myers. I prefer you call me doctor or professor. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. Your major. So I graduated with a major in psychology 20 years ago this year. I'm going to my 20-year reunion this week, and that's a little like mind-boggling for me. But I also had a WGS minor. Your goal month and year of graduation, I kind of already covered that. And then why are you taking this class? I love to teach this class because it brings together the two things I really love: psychology and psychological science, as well as issues of gender and other types of equity. Another assignment that is a little different to some of the other assignments you'll get from other classes is I do want you, if at all possible, by the end of next week, set up a meeting with me using that Calendly link. This will be really brief, like 5 minutes. Oftentimes people do this like on their lunch break, at work, things along those lines. And it's just to like, we get to actually interact, put a face to a name, and it's an easy way to get 10 points. If you are in a totally different time zone and the timing's just not going to work, we can also do this over email. Some of this will be really similar to what you have done in other classes. Discussion posts. You'll self-evaluate your participation on those discussions. Another thing that's a little different is that each of you will be assigned to lead discussions. So that means you'll come up with the discussion prompts for a chapter. So like half a module, basically. So during this week, module 1, you're going to be asked to list 3 topics that you'd be interested in. And the topics are just the names of the chapters from our main textbook, which is by Liss. So use those. So those are due Wednesday, so that by the time next week rolls around, I can make those assignments. Your exams will be sort of broken up throughout the semester at the end of each module. They're pretty low key. They're not timed. They're open book, open note, open internet. So just, I want to see you reflect on the stuff you're learning about. The blogs, you're going to do these throughout the semester, and these are just for you. So the discussions are you interacting with other people. The blogs are where you get to sit and like reflect on what's going on. So you can talk about anything related to that chapter. So for example, just talking about what is feminism, right? Maybe you've always thought feminism is bra burning, crazy man hating people, and you discover it's much broader than that. You can write your blog post about that. Let's say you see a commercial or say a commencement speech by an NFL kicker that feels relevant to today. You can write about that, include a link to that video if you'd like. So you do those throughout the semester as well. One of the most fun assignments you do is you get to interview someone different than you that you already know. Oftentimes people will do parents, friends, cousins, something like that. And you'll write a brief paper about this. And then you'll also attend virtual events, 2 events, one at midtime, one by the end of the semester. And I have some examples here of, virtual museum tours or exhibits, TV shows. But honestly, if there's just anything you're watching, anything you run into, or if you're out about in the world, and let's say you go to the Chrysler Museum and you want to write about an exhibit there, that's great too. You just want to relate it to class material. Your big project is a research proposal project. This is going to be scaffolded throughout the semester so that when you get to the end of the semester, you don't have a big paper to write. You've already written it. You're just going to smoosh it together. So this is going to be, imagine you were given infinite grant money, infinite time, and you could conduct a research study where you're going to have people come in and participate, or maybe they're going to participate via an online survey about something related to gender. What are you going to study? What's this going to be about? And so end of, not this week, but next week, you're going to come up with your topic. What do you want to learn about? And then you're going to come up with your hypotheses. So I have lots of links here that tell you what's a hypothesis, how do I write one. It's basically the question you want to answer. How are things going to be related? I have a big video here that shows you how to do a literature search through our library's resources. Please feel free to use that, as well as lots of really nice links from the library itself. Okay. And then your third assignment, you're going to write your lit review. This stumbles some people up sometimes. Basically, it is the introduction section to a research article. So if you're reading other research articles for your project, look at how they write their introduction section. That's what you're writing here. And then the fourth thing, you're going to come up with a list of measures and or materials. Are you going to need baby grand pianos? Are you going to need puppies? Right? Are you going to want to ask them about how depressed they are? And if so, what questionnaire that already exists in the world are you going to use that for? And again, in this video of literature searches, I have some really helpful tips on how to find existing questionnaires, measures. And then you will do a whole draft of your method section, and this tells you how to outline it. And then you're going to do a brief video presentation, really short, 5 to 10 minutes, where you explain your topic and how you do your study. And then at the end of the last module, you're going to squish together your whole paper you've been writing throughout the semester and turn that in. So you don't have to write this giant paper at the end of the semester. You just are going to copy paste. Here's our course schedule. And so what you can see is every week there's a little bit due on Wednesday and then a lot more due on Sunday, just to give you time throughout the week. One of the things that you'll do on some of these is, you can respond to other people on the discussions. It doesn't just have to be responding to the discussion leader. You will also be, again, having things for the paper sprinkled in throughout, having like a midterm self-evaluation of your participation, and all of this will be readily available for you. Now, one thing I do want to cover is that this might be unusual for an online class, but I take everything late. You don't ever have to email me to say, Dr. Myers, I'm going to turn something in late. I know our lives are crazy. So you have until the day that the course is over to get everything in. That being said, do not wait till the last week to get stuff done, particularly those scaffolded assignments for the paper. You will hate yourself if you've done it. I've had students do it. So pretend this doesn't exist, but know it's here if something comes up for you. All righty. So you'll see there's some course resources here as well. Course materials, how you get your books from the online bookstore, the library, tech support. Please don't ask me to be tech support for Blackboard. Sometimes Blackboard makes me want to scream and pull my hair out, but a lot of times it's good. And then you'll see right away you have a place to, this is even more helpful. These are videos created by Blackboard about how to do stuff in Blackboard. So super helpful. You'll see there's information about the long-term project here if you want to kind of remind yourself about that. But each week, what you're going to do is you're going to click into one of these modules. And so, for week 1, we're doing module 1. Pretty straightforward, right? And so you'll see, okay, here are just our overview and objectives. And then you can either close this and go back out, or you can just click next, and that's easier. I have made videos, and I tried to keep them short, but sometimes they are not short. So I recommend, if you're someone who doesn't have a ton of time, listen to them on like 1.5 speed, maybe. But they are basic videos covering important topics, important definitions, things that like were in person and make sure people understand. This is unfortunately a really good time to be covering a lot of these topics if we think about the Dobbs Supreme Court decision and all the ramifications of that, right? And so I tried to touch on a lot of that in these videos throughout the semester, and some will be longer than others. When we get to body image, that's my area of research, so that's longer. When we get to like childbirth, I have an almost 6-year-old, so that's pretty relevant in my memory, so I'd spend a little more time on those. These PDFs, I believe, are my PowerPoints. This will tell you what to read. List refers to the textbook that has a white cover, and it's Liss, Richmond, and Urschel. And then Roberts is the one that has a green cover. It's the Lanahan Readings in the Psychology of Women. When you see these things on Roberts, these are reading numbers. They're kind of like chapters, and each chapter within Roberts is written by a different person. These are like classic readings in the Psychology of Women. The numbers you see here are the chapters in the Liss book, and those are lengthier. It's more like a traditional textbook. I will have these supplemental resources available. You don't need to click through these, but if there's something that's of particular interest to you from that chapter, please avail yourself of this. So I have a lot on not only, women's issues, but men's issues. That's one thing I feel like your texts kind of fall down on a little bit, and I try to supplement with. But some really great resources. This is one of my favorites, and this will make an excellent place to get your virtual events. This is called Psychology's Feminist Voices, and this has videos of women who have contributed to psychology. It has big profiles about them and what they do. So for example, if I want to scroll down to Nancy Henley, huge name in psychology, particularly just sort of like studying feminism as a concept. You'll see there's a biography of her, there's selected works by her, there's photos of her, and then often if you click here, there will be a video of that person, so you actually hear them talking. So very cool, great reference if you want to think about like how have women contributed to psychology. Then you'll see the assignments to just pick your topics and turn them in. And so I think it is going to make me pretend to do the assignment. It is. So it tells you exactly what I'm looking for. You can type it right in here, or you can type it somewhere else, copy paste it into the submission. I'm going to close that just because I'm not going to turn it in for myself, right? But then you'll see you also get into your other assignments. So like here is where you can put the link to your video, and it looks like some of you have already done them. So fantastic. I'm looking forward to reading those. And then here is where you do that blog. And then here is where I'm facilitating the first week. I'm the discussion leader. So I have gone in and put lots of prompts for you to respond to. You do not have to respond to all 11 prompts. You can choose one, or you could choose multiple if they interest you, but respond to at least one. And when you're doing your blog or you're doing these discussion responses, what I ask is that you make them thoughtful, try to incorporate the readings if you can. They shouldn't just be like, I agree, because that's just not going to be helpful, right? And then you'll see we have the discussion for chapter 2. And so again, I have prompts for that. And you can choose the ones that you feel like are most relevant or interesting to you. And then again, close that out. And then there will always be a little bit of a summary and look ahead that you can click on. I don't know how helpful that actually is, but it exists. So, and each module throughout the semester will be like that, where you can click on it. The only strange thing about the summer version of this course is that summer online courses are a little bit shorter than during the school year. And so module 7 and 8 will both be the last week. That being said, module 8 only has a couple little things in it, so it isn't that onerous. So hopefully that's helpful, especially for those of you who may not have done an online course before. Please reach out to me via email if you have any questions. I'm really looking forward to interacting with you throughout the semester. And thanks so much for watching this. Hopefully it's helpful.